The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. My name is Anthony O'Neill, host of the popular YouTube show and podcast show, The Table with Anthony O'Neill, and co-hosting with me today is #1 national best-selling author and host of The Christy Wright Show, the one and only Christy Wright. And together we'll be answering your questions, taking your phone calls. If you have a question about your life, around your money, or if you're a young person, you want to start a business, or if you're a lady and you just want to learn how to get balanced, how to go after your purpose, give us a call, 888-825-5225. Again, the number here is 888-825-5225. We have a couple of phone lines open, but keep calling and we'll get you through, and we'll love to have a conversation with you about your life, about your money. And Chrissy, what all are you talking about? Because every time I get on the show with you, I'll be saying, Chrissy this, Chrissy that. What's your sweet spot, Christy?
You know, it's interesting because you've kind of watched this transition over the last couple of years, but for 5 years, I helped women start businesses. And that's certainly still something I love to do. Yeah. We have the Business Boutique event. I have my book. All that stuff is still there helping people. Yeah. But in the last year or so, maybe 2 years, I've really felt God kind of urging me into this new space to not help women with just businesses, but to help them in their lives in the area of personal development and even specifically faith. And then what's cool, Anthony, is while I felt God leading me in this space, you start to see the market kind of going in that direction too. We'd have, women come to the event, women come to listen to the Business Boutique podcast or read my book. And I would always say, oh, what's your business? Yeah. And they would say, oh, I don't have a business. You just help me reach my goals. Wow. Or you help me in my relationship with my spouse, or you help me push past my fear to apply for this job. And so one of the things that I really want to do, and you and I are big vision people. We love helping people have vision. We have vision for ourselves. But I think there's a gap in the market between faith and personal development. Yeah. And people tend to think they're mutually exclusive, and they're not. You need both. You need to have a faith, and I believe God can lead you in his plans for you. And you need to work really hard and have goals and follow steps and be smart with what you have. And so I want to help people do that. I want to help people have a bigger faith and a better life. Yeah. And bridge that gap between faith and personal development. That's what I'm doing. So it's been fun.
Man, every Tuesday, you guys, you can check her out on YouTube or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Break through what's holding you back, create a life you're proud of, and build confidence in yourself and the God who created you. Every Tuesday on YouTube. This is Christy Wright. Check her out. So 888-825-5225. Give us a call. Right now we have Josh with us in Charlotte, North Carolina. Good afternoon, Josh. How can Christy and I help?
Afternoon, guys. How are y'all?
Doing well.
Good.
So me and my wife are in a position where we are probably going to want to refinance just with the way our market is right now. The big thing that we are having a concern about is I run a small business that is growing income that is I use one of our spare bedrooms for. Now, we want to have a second child, and we don't have another bedroom that's available. So one of the things that we considered is when we go to refinance, seeing if it would actually be worth it to try to expand onto the house and add an extra place so I can actually run my business from that and have a place for our future children. And I have no information on how to go about that or if it would even be worth it to do so. And if I do, what way to go about it.
Okay. So you're pretty much refinancing not to go down to a 15-year fixed rate loan. You're pretty much refinancing so you can do some home renovations. Am I correct?
That's the big thing. We want to refinance anyway because we got in one of those bad situations where because we couldn't put 20% down on the home, we had to have a mortgage insurance, which does nothing for us. PMI. And so we're losing about $1,300 a month or $1,300 a year anyway. Okay. Just from that, so we want to try to refinance just to get that off, if anything else. But
do you have 20% equity in the house? Do you have 20%?
Our loan we did at $170. Our balance is $150, but they are estimating the value of the house currently to be about 230 to 240.
Okay. All right. So you will have more than 20% equity in the house if the house values at that price. And so I like that. So refi, so you can get rid of your PMI, will be a good option. I would recommend you check out Churchill Mortgage for that. When you refi, no, I'm not going to say take out money to add on to your house. If you're going to do that, you're going to do that cash. Okay. I don't want you to take out money to put back into the home. No, I want you to take out refi so you can get a better interest rate, get out of the PMI, and then I want you to cash flow any renovations that you want to do to the house. But before we talk about renovations, Josh, do you have any other kind of debt right now?
We do have a little bit of debt. We have about a $4,000 medical bill, and then we were debt-free up until the house was purchased, but then we had a credit card that got away, and it's about $3,500. So we have about $7,500 in debt right now.
Okay, so we're $7,500 in debt. Do you have any money in the bank?
I do. We've got $2,000 in emergency fund, and then we've got some couple thousand in other things that we're just trying to make sure taxes go through okay.
Okay.
But we could probably throw that at something if we need to.
So here's what I'm thinking, Chrissy. Is one, we do refi so we can get rid of the PMI because that will free up $1,300 right there in income. Okay. And then from there, it's Josh, I want you to pay off this $7,500. Okay. I want you to take $1,000 out of that. Go ahead and put that towards the $7,500 in debt. Get out of this, get you a fully funded emergency fund up. And then from there, because listen to what you just said. What you said was I got a mortgage. We were debt free. Then when we got the mortgage, we had to go back into debt because we needed to do some stuff around the house. So we want to prevent this from happening again. And so going ahead, get out of debt, get a fully funded emergency fund up, follow the baby steps, and then from there, cash flow any renovations that you may need.
Yeah, and I would say the one thing I would add in relation to the business expense would be to find all the options you have. Are there co-working spaces? Is there somewhere you can sublease? Is there something that's a lower cost where you can have that room for your baby, have that room for your family that's growing without taking on this extra expense in your home, this extra loan like Anthony's talking about? If you get really scrappy and get really creative, you will come up with a lot more options. Right now, this is just the easiest, most visible option for you. You have a lot more options. You can run your business a lot of different ways, I'm guessing. So I want to challenge you to make a list of what are all the different ways that you can find space for your business if and when your family grows, to not feel like that you're painted in a corner there.
That was so good, Chrissy. I like that. And here's the thing, you guys. We're never going to tell you to deviate off of the baby steps. The baby steps work. The baby steps got me out of debt. They've helped Christy. They've helped all of us here. So we're going to go right in line with the baby steps. And so the key thing here to remember for those of you all listening right now is when you get a mortgage, we're never going to tell you to refi so you can do things to the house. No, we're going to tell you to refi so you can pay off the house sooner, quicker, faster. Anything when it comes to adding on to the house, fixing up the house, we will always tell you to not refi. We would tell you to cash flow that because we want you to pay off the house. We want you to build equity. We want you to build wealth. The number one thing that we found in our millionaire study was that most of these millionaires had a paid off mortgage. And that is important in America to remember. Make sure that we have a paid off mortgage so we can start building wealth, start building legacy. This is Chrissy Wright. This is Anthony O'Neill. This is The Ramsey Show.
Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit nationalguard.com/Ramsey to find out more.
888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. My name is Anthony O'Neill, and joining with me today is Christy Wright. And we're here to take your phone calls, answer your questions, talk about life, talk about purpose, talk about money, talk about careers, talk about all things around life. We had a phone line just open up, so give us a call, 888-825-5225. And Chase is with us in St. Louis. Good afternoon, Chase. How can Christy and I help?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, no problem at all, man. How can we help, bro?
So I'm a second semester junior, so I'm about to finish my junior year of college.
Okay.
I just transferred to my 4-year university after attending community college in the past.
Okay.
Up until this point, I've paid for all my tuition out of pocket by myself.
Awesome.
Because my goal is just to graduate debt free. So I took out a subsidized student loan of $5,500. My plan for the next 2 semesters of college is to pay the last 2 semesters out of pocket like I did in the past. But I'm starting to rethink that idea, as federal student loan forgiveness is kind of a discussion in politics. Do you guys think I should get 2 more loans to cover the remainder of my school, or should I just pay for as much as I can out of pocket?
Chase, let me ask you this question, man. You sound like a very bright, smart young man. Have you done any research around these forgiveness programs?
Not completely.
Okay. Let me help you out, because I want to make sure that, I don't want to give you an opinion. I want to give you facts. Okay. Facts are showing that only 1% of the people who actually apply for the student loan forgiveness program are getting approved. So that's 99% of the people right now are not getting approved. So let me ask you a question. With knowing that fact right there, as a young man in your shoes, do you want to rely on them to forgive you?
No.
Exactly.
I probably should not.
Exactly. Who's the best person you can rely on?
Definitely myself.
There you go. There you go, young man. That's it right there. Here's the thing. To answer the question directly, and I'm pretty sure Christy will agree with me, no. You should not rely on someone else. You should not rely on the government. You should not rely on the White House. You should not rely on Congress to take care of your house, bro. You've worked hard to stay out of debt. Continue working hard to stay out of debt. Continue working hard to take control over your life. And I promise you, when you turn 30 years old, when you turn 35, you have a wife, you have kids, you're going to say thank you to your younger self, because you put in the work and you avoided debt at all costs. Okay. It's going to be hard. I'm not going to sit here and play with you. It's going to be hard. It's going to be frustrating. There's going to be some days you feel like giving in on these last 2 semesters. But when you walk across that stage, brother, and I hope America, you all are listening to me. When you walk across that stage with a debt-free degree, and when you get around your friends and they're talking about a college experience and they're over here crying and whining because they have $50,000, $100,000 in student loan debt, and you're like, I have nothing. You're going to feel like Superman. You're going to feel like, man, it was worth it. So do not give in to because of the talks right now. No, stay true to your path. Stay true to who you are and graduate 100% debt free. And our brother, I'm telling you right now, you do that, you're setting yourself up to be a millionaire.
Here's the thing too, Chase, that's so cool. Number one, you've already done it. You're really, really close. You've already done this. You've already cash flowed your college up to this point, which is incredible. And unlike the vast majority of college students, so you have this skill, you have the confidence, you've done it before, you know you can do it again and finish this out. But I want to unpack something for you really quickly, and this is for all of you listening about any type of debt. What I want help people to understand, Anthony, is that when we talk about debt, we're not just talking about the financial aspect of it. This is not just a numbers game. Yes, you pay more when you take on debt and you have interest. There's the financial implication. but there's a power and control element. Chase, we want you to have all the power, all the control.
Yeah.
When you sign your life away, when you sign your future away, when you sign your finances away, you're giving up those things. You're giving up power, you're giving up control, not just the finances. And so we want you to keep all the power, keep all the control, keep the risk low. And when you stay out of debt, you do that. No one can tell you what to do because it's your money and your future. And I want people to understand that, Anthony, because sometimes they think it's just a financial thing. They're like, oh, I don't mind the payment of $50 a month. Well, I don't mind the interest of X $100. It's like, no. You're giving up power.
Right.
You're giving up control and your right to your decision making in your future. And man, that to me is more motivating than the money side of it. Because I'm like, I don't want anybody to be the boss of me. I don't want anybody to be able to tell me what I can and can't do in my future.
You know what, Chrissy, you teaching good. You know, one of the things I talk about on my show over at the table with Anthony O'Neill on YouTube is it was just the other week with me, one of my good friends, Leo. He said something that was so good and something that I teach as well. He says, every dime you give into interest, which is the penalty for debt, is one dime you're taking away from you and your family to build wealth. Mm-hmm. So not only are you giving up power, but you're also giving up the opportunity to build wealth. Mm-hmm. You know, he said just in his student loans alone, if he just would have paid the minimum payment on the student loans, he was going to pay $125,000 in interest.
I believe it.
$125,000 in interest. And that's not going towards his debt. That's not going towards building wealth. That's going towards someone else. Mm-hmm. That's robbery.
Yeah.
And so this is why I'm so passionate about this message, especially with young people, you know, all people, really. But when I hear young people say, I want to take out the student loans and get it forgiven. No. Stay away. Work hard so you can build true wealth at a younger age.
Well, and the reason I bring up this power control element, not just of the debt, but in relation to Chase's question with loan forgiveness, if you say, I hope, I think, I'm going to cross my fingers, a wish and a prayer that they're going to forgive me, and then they don't because they probably won't. Again, you've given up your power, you've given up your control for a wish and a prayer that didn't work out. Instead, we want you to follow a proven plan that has no risk. It's not a wish and a prayer. It works and it's proven. Yeah. And then you're going to graduate debt-free, and there was no, I wish I coulda, shoulda, woulda. You controlled it every step of the way.
You hit it off. Man, I love doing this show with you, Chris.
I know. We get so excited.
Man, this is good. Lindsay is with us in Cincinnati. Good afternoon, Lindsay. How can Christy and I help?
Hey, guys. So I'm going to, make you guys even more fired up because I have a mess with my student loans. So we are in baby step 2, obviously. We have been gazelle intense for 2 years now. It'll be 2 years in May. Okay. And we still have $150,000 left, and we've already paid off $100,000.
Okay, Lindsay.
But it's exhausting, you know? It feels like it consumes every part of me. It's everything we think about. It's everything we talk about. And we are being so intense because we want to wait to have kids until we're done with our debt, which I know you guys say, that's not exactly what you recommend. But our minimum payments on our student loans are $1,300 a month. And it's just we feel, I don't know, if we don't get to pay it off, we wouldn't feel right about bringing a child into that. So anyway, I guess I'm just looking for motivation or tips or tricks or anything you guys can think of to help us stay motivated and on top of it.
So before Chrissy talks real quick, I want her to talk because this is her sweet spot, especially for ladies. How much do you all make a year annually?
Close to $150.
Okay, cool. Go ahead, Chrissy.
All right, so here's I'm going to give you a running example, Lindsay. I love to run. I feel like I can come up with a running example for about anything.
She's a beast at it, too.
Depending on the distance that you're running, you set a different pace. So if I'm going to run 1 mile, I can and will run that a lot faster than if I set out to run a marathon, which is 26.2 miles. But when you know the distance that you have to run, you set your pace accordingly. Now, that's not saying you shouldn't be gazelle intense. I love that about you. I think that's amazing. I just want to give you permission to pace yourself. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Take a deep breath, enjoy little wins along the way, celebrate here and there, and you will be able to last for the long haul. But you're doing great. You've got a year behind you. You can do this.
And Lindsay, I'll add this real quick before we go to break. If your why doesn't make you cry, then the price of commitment will. You and your husband should sit down and really write down what's the why. Why are we doing this? Why are we going this hard? And if that doesn't make you cry, then the price of commitment will. Find a why that'll make you emotional. When you get emotional, you get the energy to push on and push forward. All right? This is The Ramsey Show. America, by now, you've probably seen all the tax software as saying it's free to do your taxes with the big companies. But newsflash, for most people, it's not, because you have to meet the right criteria. By the time you realize you don't meet the free criteria, you've put too much time into it to start all the way over. So you pay up, that's money for the company. And here's the truth. That same company has loads of customer data and they can sell it. Their own privacy statements say so. So if they know you wound up paying and owing taxes, they've got a green light to send your information to their business partners, who will then kindly, keyword there, kindly sell you loans and credit cards to help you pay off your taxes. The tax software guys get a bonus. You get, guess what? More debt. Check this out. They're making a killing off of their customers. You need something better, and I mean much better. That's why we stepped into the ring with Ramsey Smart Tax to give you a way to file your own taxes without paying more than you expected and without putting you at risk to getting more debt. I want you to text the word tax to 33789. I'm going to say this again. Text the word tax to 33789 to learn more and get started for free. That's tax, TAX, to 33789. I don't like tax season, Christy.
Who does? Let's be honest.
I'm just going to be real.
There are a handful of people that get excited about it. I'm not one of those people.
I am not one of those people. But you know what? We got to do what we got to do. And yeah, I think I may be texting the word tax. 888-825-5225. Christy Wright, Anthony O'Neill here. Ramsey Personalities, taking your phone calls around money, around life, around if you want to start a business. Or I would encourage any ladies out there, if you're trying to figure out how to balance your life, how to figure out how to find your purpose in life, give us a call. Actually, give Christy a call, and she'll give you the wisdom and knowledge. And then I can come in there and help you get your money right. We're tag teaming.
We are. I like it. We need both.
All right. Sebastian's with us in Tampa, Florida. Good afternoon, Sebastian. How can Christy and I help?
Hey, how you guys doing? A huge fan. So I have one quick question. I have one debt. It's to my grandparents, and they're really nice about it. Like, they're not rushing me, but it's one of those things that, like, when you sit next to them at dinner, food don't taste as good because I know I owe them that money. It's $3,000, and I have $1,000 right now saved to pay them back. So I make $15 an hour at my job right now, working 33 hours a week, and I'm going to school. No student debt. I've been cash flowing that. I have a side hustle of reselling shoes, like Nikes, Adidas, all that. So my main question was, I want to kind of take it to the next level with reselling shoes because I've had like pretty decent success. Mm-hmm. But to do that, I need to invest in a computer so that I can run like softwares like that act like people so I can pick up more shoes. Mm-hmm. And the issue with that is a computer for that is very specific. So I need to build it, and that's $1,500. But I know like my profit margin would be really like it'd be guaranteed because I already know how to use most of that stuff. I just don't have the computer. Would it be wise to go ahead and invest in the computer before paying my grandparents off so that I could like pay them back faster, or should I just keep saving up as I've been doing to pay them back?
So the $1,000 is your total savings? That's all the savings.
That's what I've been saving up for probably the past like 3 weeks, and that's what I've gotten so far.
Okay, help me understand this software. I'm not disagreeing. I just don't understand it. Tell me what you are going to be able to do with this computer and software that you can't do right now on your phone, just being scrappy, manual, hustling, getting it done. Okay, so what it is, it's called bots. So a bot, I'm in a cook group, which is like I can rent bots for let's say anywhere from $50 to $240, depending on how good of a software I want. And what that software will do is, on this computer, I could have, like, instead of one tab open that is for me to add a shoe to a cart, I can have 100 to 200 tabs open and be able to get multiple pairs to resell.
Oh, so you're trying to get, fancy.
You're trying to turn these shoes faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have friends that they're already into this, and I see the numbers that they're able to pull off from it, but I don't have a computer that's capable of having that many tabs open, and I can run bots on.
All right, here's what I want you to do. I want to challenge you on something, Sebastian. I'm not against you getting this computer and this software, but I want you to do two things before you do. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to, if you have a friend that is truly doing this, either ask them if you can borrow it for a day, for an hour. I want you to prove that you can do this. I want you to actually test the software and prove to yourself that you can turn this profit that you think you can before you drop $1,500 into it. I just want you to test it out. However you go about that, whether it's a friend or whatever you do, I just want you to test it. The second thing, if that works and you're like, yeah, this is I've validated my idea, I definitely can get it. I want you to sit down with your grandparents, tell them your plan, and ask their permission for you to make this expense with the intention of you want to pay them off sooner. I want them to feel a part of the decision since you're in debt to them, just out of respect for them and for your own conscience, that you're not sitting down at dinner feeling like you just bought this software and feeling even worse about it and you hid it from them. So I just want you to take a couple steps. And then the other thing is if you decide to do it, they're good with it, you prove your idea, I want you to set a goal that you are going to pay that back to yourself. You're going to make that much money back in less than 3 months. I want you.
And that's why I was kind of hesitant instead of just jumping into it, because I don't want them to think that, like, oh, he just spent this much money on a computer and he's not paying us back. Like, I saw that I set a budget, and it's like, if I live by my budget, which I've been strict to myself about it, I can have everything paid off to them in 3 months. And I was like, oh, maybe if I can invest into this, I can have it paid back in like 2 months.
All right.
But like you said, I would have to talk to them first about it.
Well, but here's the thing. You're in school. You're cash flowing. You've got a side hustle. You're a driven guy. You're not just sitting around eating popcorn expecting people to make a way for you. You're trying. And I hear that in your voice and see it in what you've already done. I just want to make sure when you do this, you're upfront with your grandparents, you're clear and prove your idea that you can do it, and then you hold your feet to the fire to get it done in 2 months, 3 months, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I think you will. I think if you do that, that's the right way to go about it to get it paid off even faster.
Sebastian, let me ask you this. What was the $3,000 for that your parents loaned you the money for?
So last year, I actually moved out to go to school in Gainesville. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't have a job when I first went there. And so I had to pay my own rent. I had to pay for food. And I made really bad decisions. And I joined a fraternity, which I knew I couldn't afford, but I still did it anyway. I wasn't listening to you guys, obviously. And so now that it's like that I am, I'm like, man, I really should not have done that, because that was like $1,500 on its own. So luckily my grandparents, they helped me, and they're like, hey, you can pay this back whenever you're able to, but this is so that you can like keep going to school over there. Since then, I'm back home ever since like classes went online for COVID. So I don't have to worry about paying rent or anything like that. Thank God.
So you're home? You're home doing online school?
Yes, sir.
So that means you have access to a computer?
I have a computer, but it's like 8 years old, and it's not something I can run when I want to do on.
No.
This computer won't have that software. You can make this work.
Yeah, you can make this work, Sebastian. Yeah.
I thought he didn't have a computer, Ayo.
I mean, we just had to ask the right questions. Here's my thing, man. I was agreeing with Christy until you said you had a computer. I don't sell shoes.
Same. I don't know the business.
You can sell shoes, and you may not be able to sell it as fast as your friends. But right now, I think you have to really lay down some priorities. Mm-hmm. You borrowed money from your mom, your parents, so you could join a fraternity. You need to pay them back. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's time for you to step up to be a man and say, you know what? Let me do what I got to do. Pay them back, and then if you want to save up to get the computer, a better computer to sell more shoes, then you do that. But I think the first step to being a man is paying the people.
Use what you've got. If you've got a computer, you got a phone. Use what you've got to do what you want to do. Then you can upgrade it.
I like that. That's it, Christy. Do what you got to do so you can do one day what you really want to do. I like that. This is the Ramsey Show. to the Ramsey Show. My name is Anthony O'Neill. Co-hosting with me today is #1 national best-selling author and host of the Christy Wright Show, the one and only Christy Wright. Give us a call, 888-825-5225. We're taking your questions here live on the air. And Caden is with us in Denver, Colorado. Good afternoon, Caden. How can we help?
Hey, how are you guys doing today? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, man, thank you for calling
what's going on?
So I have roughly $120,000 in student loan debt. I have one that's about, it's a consolidated like $96,000 loan, and then I have two $5,000 loans, and then two just under $4,000 loans. Okay. And I have the option to refinance my largest $96,000 loan to lower my monthly payment by $140 right now. Okay. And I'm on snowball, the snowballing step, so baby step number 2. Okay. And so I planned on refinancing to get that $140 to put towards my smaller loans. Okay. But on top of that, I'm currently putting in 8% into my 401k, as that's what my company matches. Okay. And I just didn't know if I should pull that 8% out and put it towards my loans to help me get out of debt faster. And I do have $10,000 saved in my savings as well. Okay. All right. And so I was just looking for some guidance and, how to maneuver and use what I have to, get those rolling in the right direction.
Hey, you called the right show, man. Christy and I are going to walk you through this and help you out as much as possible. So let's rewind. Talk to me about the refi. 2 quick questions for you, and you may or may not know them. If you do not know these, what I want you to do is go and find out. Here's the very first question. Is there a cost? The whoever's refining your student loans, are they charging you a fee to do the processing to do it? Do you know if they are?
They are not.
Okay, cool. So that's the first step. I like that. Number 2, is the interest rate at least a good full percent below where you are now?
It's just under 2%.
Just under. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So yes, we are refining. Okay. So what we're definitely going to do is going to refi. Then I like how you said it, because we're going to take that extra money that we got back, and not just the extra money you got back, which is about $140. We're going to go out there and we're going to get a job. Okay. We're going to get an extra job and we're going to attack it. So yes, you're going to line up your student loans from smallest to largest. Now, let me ask you this question, because I'm going to make sure that we're teaching the correct stuff. Do you have any other debt outside of your student loans right now?
I have no credit card debt, but I do have $20,000 in a loan payment, an auto loan.
Okay, cool. So this is what we're going to do. We'll walk this down. So you're going to put $4K. That's number 1. You have 2 of those. You're going to put $4K there, $4K there. Then you have 2 $5K. You're going to line that up right behind the $4Ks. Then you're going to put the $20K in there, okay? Then you're going to put the $96K of student loans. So that's how you're going to line it up. So you're going to take that 96, whatever you refi, any extra money. The first one goes towards the first 4. You're going to make minimum payments on all of them. But then you're going to do that. Now, you got $10,000. You're not going to like what I'm about to say. All right. But I'm going to tell you how it is, because you called into the Ramsey Show. And just on this day, you got Christy and Anthony. And so we keep it raw with you. You're going to take $9,000 of that. You're going to knock out both the $4,000 loans, and you're going to put $1,000 of that towards the $5K. So now you're down to $4K left, and then $20,000 was your auto loan to the $96,000. Then you're going to aggressively attack it. So you follow what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay.
So you're going to go ahead and spend a $9K on your debt. You're going to stop investing at 8%. How much are you? What does that come out to for you? About what, $200?
That's $540 extra a month.
Oh yeah,
that I could be getting.
Yes. Stop it right now. As soon as you hang up from us, email HR, tell them, hey, we need to stop this. We need to pause this, and don't pull nothing out of your 401k. Okay. All we simply want you to do is pause. We still want the money to grow, but we're going to take that 540 plus the extra 140, and we're going to put this towards your debt. And if you aggressively do this, man, And if you get an extra job on the side, you can definitely get out of this. I was saying about 2.5 years. I'm going to let Chrissy talk to you, but then stay on the line. I'm going to have Kelly send you a copy of my Destroy Your Student Loan Debt book. It's free on Chrissy and myself. Actually, free on me because this is my book. Chrissy's just shaking her head.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Read the book. It'll take you an hour to read it. But any other insight, Christy?
Yeah, here's the thing I just want to call out, because it may be tempting when you get into this, Caden, to list your debts from smallest to largest, just like Anthony told you, but then you're going to have a thought, you're like, wait a minute, but what about the interest rate? Shouldn't I attack the highest interest rate first? And people start getting into the numbers and they start getting into the math of it, and they start to try to, well, I should do it different because my situation is special and I'm different and I got a different set of baby steps. Let me tell you something. If we were thinking about math, we never would have got ourselves into this situation to begin with. This is more about motivation than math. And when you do what Anthony just told you to do and you knock out those small debts, it's going to give you a burst of motivation and momentum and progress, and you're going to get that much more fired up. You may go get 2 or 3 jobs to start to attack that next debt, because you can start to see the progress of you knocking them out. And I just want to encourage you, follow the plan as we've laid it out. Don't get distracted by the interest rate numbers if that's a different order for you. You want to stay focused on smallest to largest, because it's more about motivation than math.
I love it. Katie is with us in Minneapolis. Good afternoon, Katie. How can Christy and I help? Katie?
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey. Great to be talking to you guys.
Absolutely. Thanks for calling. How can we help?
I have a quick question about the every dollar budget philosophy and cash flow.
Yeah.
So I've been using the Every Dollar Budget app for a while, and the last few days of the month I go in and I sort of do a true up on the budget, see if we have any money left over, make the debt payments. We have a sinking fund for the house, so I move the money into the savings and all of that. Now, for peace of mind, we keep about $650 in the savings account just in case I forgot something major during the month.
Okay.
So at the beginning of March, we had a situation where March 1st rolls around and the state takes $500 out for the taxes we owe them, and daycare takes $300 out for our weekly amount. Now, both of those items are in the March budget, so that's not a problem, except that our first paycheck doesn't hit until the 7th. So for those 5 days, I've got a little bit of a cash flow issue, and just wondering how you'd recommend accounting for that in the Every Dollar.
How many months
budgeting.
have you been doing an Every Dollar budget?
What was that?
How many months have you been doing an Every Dollar budget?
Off and on. I got off of it a little bit around the holidays with a lot of other stuff going on, and I kind of fell off the wagon, but I've been doing it for a solid 3 or 4 months now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, jump in that.
So here's the thing. Now, you sound like it was a surprise, because, I mean, your daycare is not a surprise. Was his taxes a surprise to you?
The timing of it was. We knew it was coming out. Like I said, I had it in the March budget. I didn't know exactly when they were going to draw it out. So the timing on it being exactly March 1st was like, oh, rats.
Yeah. So here's what I do, because, you know, both Chrissy and I income fluctuates. One month we can have a great month. Next month we can, not have a great month. But what I do within inside of my Every Dollar budget, what I do is if I know I owe something, for an example, my mortgage is due on the 1st, I actually set that up for that to be the last payment of the last month. So for an example, if I get paid on the 15th of the previous month, well, I'm taking it from that check that's going to pay anything that's in the beginning of the month. And so for you, what I would do is make sure that you know and do research. Call the people, whoever's pulling from your account, say, hey, when are you pulling this? You have to be very detailed. No one just says, hey, we don't know when we're going to pull it. We're just going to pull it whenever. No, everyone has a due date. Everyone knows when they want the money. And so you need to identify that moving forward. Everyone has a due date. Everyone says payment needs to be in on this particular day. So that's what I would recommend for you on the Every Dollar budget is make sure stuff like that for taxes, call them, hey, when are you pulling this money out of the account?
Yeah, and I think as you learn those rhythms, it will just get easier. Just like your point is, like, our main commission check comes on the 15th.
Yep.
So if we didn't plan right, then the 1st through the 15th, if you literally did it 1st of the month through 30th of the month, you wouldn't have as much money for what you need the first half. You just have to get in that rhythm where that money is there before, and it may be changing your auto draft payments a little bit differently. You just got to learn and adjust.
Absolutely. Chrissy, it's a great hour.
It's fun.
This is really fun. America, thank y'all for rocking with us. Thank you, James, Kelly. And y'all, at the end of the day, this is The Ramsey Show. God bless you.
friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. My name is Anthony O'Neill, host of the popular YouTube and podcast show, The Table with Anthony O'Neill. And co-hosting with me today is #1 national best-selling author and the host of The Christy Wright Show, the one and only Christy Wright. And we are excited today, you guys, because we get to talk to you, America. We get to talk to you about your life, your money, relationship goals, family goals, money goals. And if you are a young lady or a woman out there and you're trying to figure out how to balance life and how to find your purpose or even start a business, the expert is in the building today, and that is Christy Wright. And we would love for you to give us a call. We have just maybe one phone line open, so give us a call at 888-825-5225. Again, that number is 888-825-5225. And Chrissy, I feel like going straight to the phone lines.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Do it. Brandon is with us in Austin, Texas. Good afternoon, Brandon. How can Christy and I help?
Brandon?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, man.
Good.
How can we help, bro?
I had a question. So my wife and I have house paid off, no student loans, no credit cards. The only debt we have are our 2 vehicles.
Okay.
We have the cash and savings, but vehicles are one of those things I hate spending money on because they immediately, the day after you pay them off, are already worth less than what you paid for.
Mm-hmm.
Should we continue to finance those or pay them off?
Okay, let's talk to me about them. How much do you own both the cars?
About $50,000 on both of them, between the two of them.
Okay, so $50,000 in cars. How much do you have in your savings right now?
We've got about $65,000 in the savings.
Okay, so we got about $65K in savings. All right. And this is your only debt. So no student loans, no credit cards, nothing. Just $50,000 in car loans, correct?
Correct.
Cool, great. Let me ask you this question. Why do you want to keep paying interest on something on a depreciating asset?
The interest is low enough that it's always been one of those things that I felt better to save the cash than to invest it into a vehicle that would be worth less the next day if we were to get in a wreck or something were to happen.
So even if your interest is at 1%, 2%, you do understand that you're paying more money on the car that you're saying is depreciating. So wouldn't you rather save yourself money in the long run and pay it off?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't change the numbers.
The interest was low. It was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't change the numbers. If you own it or if it's financed, the value of the car is going to be the value of the car. The value of the car is not dictated by how it's financed.
Yeah.
You just kind of playing this game with yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, let's just pay it off. You've got the money paid off. And also, man, Brandon, it's going to feel so good to be completely debt-free. Like, you're right there. You're one click away from being completely debt-free, including your house. That's insane. And you've got $15,000 left over in savings. Like, you're going to be in a sweet spot. I think it's just that last. It's almost like a security blanket. It's like, oh, I'm so comfortable. I'm used to this. I feel good about it. We gotta go. If you're going to grow outside of this, you're going to have to get a little bit uncomfortable from your old ways of doing things, but it's going to be so worth it. I tell people all the time, Brandon, the voice of debt is always the voice of regret. And whenever you pay that off, you're going to feel more free than you've ever felt in your life. Then you can just keep adding to that savings and you can do anything you want to.
Absolutely.
It's a good feeling.
Brandon, hang up the phone from us, man, and go pay off your cars.
You got it. Right now. Do it.
All right.
In 2 minutes, Brandon's about to be totally debt-free.
Exactly. And if you do it within the next 2 minutes, call us back. Let's do a debt-free scream on the air.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Pay it off, man.
Okay.
Pay it off. All right, you got the money.
That's awesome.
That's funny. Alex is with us where's Alex? Oh, he's in Chicago. Good afternoon, Alex. How can Christy and I help?
Hi there. Thanks for taking my call.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how can we help?
So I'm 23 right now. I graduate in May from school. I've got around $19,000 in student debt. In 2017, I had like $30,000 fall into my lap. I didn't know what to do with it, so I just invested it. I didn't want to touch it. So right now it's at $50,000. I don't know what I want to do with that. Like I want to, have it grow as much as it can, but I don't know if I want to tackle my student debt. Because of COVID, there's no interest on any of my debt until September, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't know if now is the time to pay off my student loans or if I should. I mean, I've been listening to your show all day. I might as well just pay it off. But I do want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, but let's talk about this
This is
first.
a little different. This is a little different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Okay.
Your $50,000, what is it invested in? Is it invested in retirement or is it just invested in just regular mutual funds or single
It's
stocks?
in mutual funds.
So
it's in mutual funds right now.
It's not covered by retirement accounts like a Roth IRA, a traditional IRA, or anything like that, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So, and you have $19,000 in student loans?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So because it's not invested, I want to make sure this is very clear to the people who are listening. Because it's not invested into a retirement long-term account, I would definitely say take out $20,000 and pay off your student loans. Then take the other $1,000 and at your age bracket, go ahead and invest that into a retirement account. Go ahead and put into a Roth IRA, traditional IRA. But before you do any kind of flipping over there, I would want you to talk to a Smart Vesta Pro that can walk you through the process and educate you on why and how to do this. But I will go ahead because there is not covered with a traditional or a Roth or retirement plan. Go ahead and pull it all out. So not all of it, $20,000 so you can pay off your student loans and then get on the phone with a Smart Vesta Pro who can walk you through how to invest the other $30,000 to cover you long term so you can get more interest. You can set yourself up to win. So I would definitely go that route. But you're graduating in May. Outside of the $19K in student loans, do you have any other debt?
I don't. That would be it.
So no car notes?
Nope.
You don't have a credit card for emergencies?
Nope. No.
You sure?
Absolutely not.
That's awesome.
Okay.
That's awesome. Well done.
I'm just making sure because you sound like a smart individual. So I just want to make sure that we have a clear understanding here that we don't do debt. Let me hear you say that. We don't do debt. Repeat after me. I don't do debt.
I don't do that.
There you go. I like that. Say that one more time. Say it louder. Say, I don't do that.
Yeah. I don't do that.
There
You're
we
so
go.
bossy today. You're
All
so
right, man,
bossy.
listen.
Listen, the only other thing I would add to this conversation is that you want to start saving up. You're at a transitional stage in life. So whether you are going to be moving out, buying a house at some point, you're going to be debt free and you got a little bit of investment, start saving up to have a good emergency fund and transition money for these life transitions coming up.
No, this is so good, Christy. One of the key things I tell young people graduating college, especially in the midst of a pandemic right now of what we're facing, is focus on the things that you can control and do not sweat over the things you can't control. You know, and as of right now, this individual had the income to go ahead and pay off the student loans, invest this thing properly, get a good job, start investing some more. By the time Alex turns 40, 50 years old, I mean, that we're looking at millions, you know? And so this is very important. Focus on the things you can control and don't sweat over the things you can't control. This is The Ramsey Show.
Cliff and I joined Christian Healthcare Ministries because we really liked the concept of Christians sharing each other's burdens. And we really experienced that firsthand when Cliff was diagnosed with heart disease. It was just such a relief to know that financial burden was going to be taken care of.
CHM is the original and longest-serving health cost-sharing ministry. Get started today and check us out at chministries.org/budget.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. My name is Anthony O'Neill. Co-hosting with me today is Christy Wright, #1 national best-selling author and host of the Christy Wright Show. And we are taking your phone calls today, 888-825-5225. Again, the number here is 888-825-5225. And we're talking about a little bit of everything. So if you just have a general question about life, give us a call. We love talking about that. We love talking about money, but we also love talking about other things as well. But I'm excited. What's on your heart, Christy?
Here's the thing. We've been hearing a lot of calls in the last hour or so, and a lot of them around debt, which is pretty typical. That's what a lot of Americans are struggling with. And you may be listening to this right now, and you might be feeling like, well, debt's just a way of life. Mm-hmm. I'm always going to have this debt. I'm always going to have this payment. It's normal. I'm used to it. You may feel like you're never going to actually have extra money for those goals, these things that you want to do. If this sounds like you, it is time for a new way of thinking. See, here's the deal. You have to believe that you can get rid of debt and take control of your money, because you can. But if you don't believe it, you won't try. And here's the good news. We help millions of Americans do just that. And it won't take nearly as long as you think it will. With Ramsey Plus, we're going to kick you off with 90 days of guided help so you can put more of your money back into your bank account. Translation, you get to keep your hard-earned money. You'll learn the practical ways to get small, consistent wins that add to big results and better habits. And that means that you get to where you want to be faster and debt-free, spending your money without worry. This year, you can make more progress on your debt and saving than you ever have before. Get Ramsey Plus and start living the life you want faster. To reset your money and start Ramsey Plus for free trial, go to DaveRamsey.com. That's DaveRamsey.com. It's a free trial, y'all. Listen, this is the plan you need to win, and we know it because we've seen millions of Americans do it. You can too. That's DaveRamsey.com.
DaveRamsey.com. Catherine's with us in Kentucky. Good afternoon, Catherine. How can Christy and I help?
Hey, thank you guys so much for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I guess my question is, my husband and I are doing decently well financially. We're actually starting on the baby steps, and we'll be through baby step 4, according to my calculations, in about 16 months. However, I'm thinking about my parents' future, which I know just sounds a little silly, but they're in their mid-60s. I'm 27. They're not in the greatest health. One is still pretty able-bodied and has been struggling finding employment throughout the pandemic because she lost her job. My father is on partial disability right now and trying to continue working for a few more years. But unfortunately, they spent their entire retirement on their divorce 5 years ago. And they didn't have much to begin with. How would you suggest my brother and I and my husband trying to help figure out what to do for their futures in case their health fails and they're unable to take care of themselves and need more assistance?
Well, I got a question before AO jumps in on this one, because Catherine, this is while it's a financial question, it's also an incredibly personal question. It's a values question. It's a family question. I'm curious, what are some of the conversations y'all have already been having? Because I'm guessing you're having them. What are some ideas you're tossing around? Is there a tug or something that you're starting to kind of wrestle through as a starting point for me and Anthony to help you kind of guide you in the right direction? I'm curious what the conversations are looking like already between you guys.
Well, the conversations between my brother and I have been just filled with concern. His financial situation is finally starting to look up. He actually filed for bankruptcy a couple of years ago himself. So he's not, hasn't been in the best financial situation, but he's also starting to work through the baby steps. So our conversations have been kind of like, well, we're just trying to help ourselves at this point get to a better situation. And if we can help them, how can we help them? But, our values are you take care of family. But I think our family has a history of helping family out to the point of hurting each other unintentionally. I helped pay mortgage in high school, which is fine. But my parents have borrowed money from me in the past, taken it out of my account. I finally took them off my account right before I got married. So it was bailing one person out to get themselves in trouble. And I've always been the person to bail out my entire family because they keep bailing each other out. So it's, I guess I've always had this feeling of I have to help them because I'm in the best financial situation out of the four of us. So I don't know where to go from here.
And this is always a hard conversation to have because I hear in your heart that you love your parents, that you want to be there for your parents. But then I also hear in your heart, I need to be here for my family. I need to do the right thing for my family. And so I want to say this. This is not Dave Ramsey saying it. This is not Christy Wright saying it. This is me. I'm going to put my family first. My wife, my kids first.
Our household.
I'm going to put our household first. I want to make sure that I am not jeopardizing my home because I am responsible for my home. My wife would be responsible for her home. If we think about someone else's home before ours, we're just setting ourselves up to fail, to have arguments that are unnecessary, to have things that are unhealthy in our homes. And so for me, I'm going to suggest, again, I'm not a relationship expert, sit down with your husband and say, all right, babe, can we? Is there anything that we can do? And if y'all two come up together and say, baby, no, there's nothing we can do, there is nothing wrong with that. Because right now the priority is home. Christy, you're married, you and your husband, I'm pretty sure, have had these kind of conversations in the past with family. What would you say?
Yeah, it's interesting. I would say that to me, it's a two-part thing, Catherine. So I totally agree with what you said, Anthony, of sit down with your husband. And what I would say is because you're on baby step 4, you're close to baby step 4, you're in a stable position financially, which is awesome. So what I would say is it would look like a conversation like this. You and your husband sit down and you say, what amount of money, if any, or what amount of blessing, whether it's we're going to buy them groceries or what does that look like? What amount do we feel good about giving to bless them with no strings attached, no expectations? It's a gift. It's not a debt to be repaid, and we're going to bless them. At the same time, I want to just encourage you, Catherine, to remind yourself regularly that you are not responsible for your parents' poor financial choices. And if you feel responsibility, which is unhealthy and inaccurate, then you are going to lean toward what Anthony's saying, which is giving more than you're able to give and even enabling their behavior to continue to make poor financial choices. You're going to fund poor financial choices at your own family's expense. So I would just say you want to have a conversation with your spouse and say, do we want to bless them? And that's what it is. It's like out of the abundance you bless and take care of family, not to jeopardize your own family, but just as what you're saying, your heart of we take care of family. This is how you're going to do it, but with a limit. It's planned, it's strategic, it's intentional. You're on the same page with your spouse, and it's with no strings attached, knowing that if they completely blow it and they don't have dinner that weekend, that is not your responsibility. Does that make sense? It's hard, though. I'm making it sound very easy. It's not easy at all, but I think it gives you some guardrails, some structure to the thought process, which is highly emotional, highly personal, but it helps you move forward with some type of structure around your thinking so the emotions don't run away with you.
And then after you had that conversation, like Christy said, and y'all set those guardrails, what I would do is go have a conversation with you and your husband, with your parents, and say, hey, mom, dad, this is what we have in mind, what we can do to help you all. But make sure that they're a part of the conversation. And then also jump on the phone with one of our Smart Vesta pros so we can sit down and see, okay, hey, how can we help them win with the finances they have coming in right now? So we're going to give them a little bit if we can as a family. But then they have some kind of income coming in right now. What can they do with that income to set them up to win in the future and to take less stress or a lot more stress off of you, your family, and your siblings? So, Catherine, I hear it in your heart, that you love your parents. And I'm praying for you. Christy's praying for you. And I believe that God is going to give you all the wisdom and the knowledge to make the right decision for you, your family, and your parents. Just make sure that you don't put your personal household at risk. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. My name is Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey personality, and joined with me is Christy Wright, also Ramsey personality, #1 national best-selling author, and host of the popular YouTube and podcast show. You can check her out every Tuesday on YouTube and anywhere you listen to podcasts, called The Christy Wright Show, where she helps you break through what's holding you back, create a life you're proud of, and build confidence in yourself and the God who created you. Chris, let's talk about your book, though, real quick, before we go to the blinds.com question. Your balance.
We've got our Living True 40 Days to Get Back to You. We're talking about so many things today, but this has been really cool because even this morning, I had a time with all of the women here at Ramsey Solutions. We wrapped up the last 40 days together. I'm going to kick off another one on April 6th, though. You know, I've talked about this. 40 is such a biblical number. Yes. And so this devotional walks you through who God is, who you are, where you are, and where you're going. And as you walk through these different sections, you really not only get back to who you are, but you get back to who God created you to be. And it's been really powerful to hear the testimonies and the success stories and the reviews coming in of how God spoke to someone exactly what they needed to hear on that day through that. So if you're interested in that, that's Living True 40 Days to Get Back to You. It's my new devotional, and you can get that at RamseySolutions.com or wherever books are sold.
Absolutely. Before we get to the blinds.com, go follow her on Twitter and on Instagram, because if she does it, she's going to do it live on Instagram. So go to Christy B. Wright, Christy B. Wright. Ladies, be a part of that, because I promise you, when Christy gets to preaching, she gets to preach it. So you want to be there. So what's our blinds.com question of the day?
Yes. So blinds.com, 100% satisfaction guarantee means even if you mismeasure or pick the wrong color, they make your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal. Rules and restrictions apply. All right, today's question comes from Courtney in New Jersey. Here's what she says. I own a small speech therapy practice in New Jersey. I'm currently the sole provider for the practice, but have an ever-growing wait list of individuals looking for services. I'm considering hiring a part-time employee to assist with the growth. I'm wondering how much you recommend having saved in a business savings account to ensure that I'm still able to pay an employee what they're due, even in the event of low-income months. Okay, this is great. And what I love about this question is this is actually really helpful for anyone with a small business, whether you're a sole provider or not, a solopreneur or not. So we always recommend that you have 3 to 6 months of business expenses in a savings account that is accessible, just like we recommend on the personal side. This is called retained earnings. This is going to help you if your computer crashes, your vehicle has a problem, you need new tires on your delivery vehicle. Same concept for business. 3 to 6 months of business expenses. That would help you cash flow the payroll in the low months if that happened. Now, I will encourage you to take this a step further, Courtney, because you're talking about your first hire. Anthony, your first hire is your hardest because it feels scary and risky. Are they going to do as good of a job as I do in my business and that type of thing? So I want to give you 3 things to think about if you are a solopreneur and you're considering hiring your first person. Number 1, you are ready to hire your first person when you are maxed out. Now, you get to define maxed out. Maxed out for you might be 10 hours a week. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you're busy with your kids, you've got other things, this is a side business, you don't want to give more than 10 hours a week, that's fine. Maxed out for you might be 80 hours a week. You get to decide what your definition of maxed out is, but when you are maxed out, by your definition, you might be ready to hire someone. Number 2, when you actually have the money to pay them. Not you hope you'll have the money when they get there. Because guess what? It's going to take them a couple months in most businesses to actually bring in an ROI, a return on your investment. Some of them, they're just learning the ropes. They're learning what you need to do. They're training. They're not necessarily producing money for your revenue for your business on that first day or even first month or 2 months, which means you need that savings account we talked about to be able to pay them, because they're still going to expect to get paid even though they have not produced revenue for your business yet. But the third one is probably the most important, Anthony, and this is really important for people, especially in the side gig generation, people that are solopreneurs, they've got home-based businesses, that type of thing. I want you to think about if you want to lead another person. No one asks this question. They think, well, the demand is there. I need to grow my business. I'm going to hire people. But here's what happens when you hire people. You are, by definition, a leader, which means you're responsible for training that person, hiring that person, leading that person, paying that person, dealing with every aspect of leadership. Now, if you want to lead, cool. You got the money, cool. You're maxed out, cool. You're ready to hire someone, go ahead and do that. But if you don't want to lead, if you just love doing your thing, it's just you and your business, you get to do what you want, you're not responsible for other people, that's fine too. Might be time to raise your prices and figure out other ways to scale and grow outside of hiring. Hiring is not the only way for you to grow. For example, Courtney in New Jersey, I'm just going to throw out an idea for you. Let's say that you're one of those people that doesn't want to hire, but you want to grow. You can raise your prices. You're making more money per client. You could even create a course, an online digital course that helps parents do speech therapy with their kids at home. And then that course is mailbox money for you in the background. Boom, you've scaled your business beyond yourself in the dollar per hour rate, and you never hired a person to do it. I just want you guys to get creative and really think about, is leading right for you? If it is, awesome, you could hire and learn how to be a good leader for that person or people. But if it's not, just know there's not a ceiling on your business. You have opportunities to grow, scale, and make more money without hiring.
Christy, you on point. you good at what you do. Give me some love, Christy.
I like giving them steps. Here's your steps. 1, 2, 3 steps. Here we go.
I love it. Christy's good. All right, let's go out to Fort Lauderdale and talk to Jared. Jared, good afternoon. How can Christy and I help?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Okay, so kind of a layered story here, but in essence, my mother actually passed about 2 or 3 months ago.
I'm sorry.
And thank you guys. So I'm left with a house. My brother and I live here. We don't own it. There's still a mortgage on it. Okay. I, however, am debt free, and I plan on moving very soon. I'd like to move to Colorado, and I'm basically looking at a small nest egg. There were a couple inheritance we got. And I'm looking at, what do I do with the house? So, if we sell it, let's say we're both, in terms of the equity, if I did my math, we're both going to end up with about $60,000 each. So if I add that to my small nest egg, I'm probably looking somewhere around $100,000. But my thing is, I don't have a big income, so I'm just wondering what I should do. Because some people have told me, try to buy your house, buy your half of the house from him, make it a investment property, or do I go buy a house somewhere else? What do you guys think?
Well, let's break this down. How old are you, bro?
I'm 22.
How old is your brother?
He's 24.
24. Okay. Do both of you all want to stay in that house long term?
No.
No, he wants to move to Colorado.
Yeah. So does he want to stay in the house long term?
No, he does not.
Cool. Sell the house, man.
Definitely. Definitely.
Sell the house. And do that ASAP.
You don't want to be managing a rental property from Colorado.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just
I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's easy. That's an easy question. Let's talk about your life. You're saying you're not making a lot of money right now. What do you do for a living?
I just work in a warehouse.
Okay. Well, that's a job. You working the full 40 hours a week?
No, I'm working part-time. I had stopped working full-time because I wanted to take a test that I had gone to school for, but I'm honestly kind of leaning away from it and just, I don't really care for the subject anymore. I wanted to be a nurse, and that's not really for me anymore.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing. Right now, sell the house. That's game plan number 1. Do you have any debt? Real quickly, yes or no?
No, debt free.
You're debt free. Okay, cool. Go ahead and get you a fully funded emergency fund, which it sounds like you already have. And then I'll take that money and figure out, get you a job, figure out what you want to do as far as in life. What do you want to do? Where you want to go?
Yeah.
If you want to be a nurse, cool, great. Cash flow that. You got the money to do that. If you want to be a carpenter, you got the money to go to carpenter school. The next big thing for you is to sit down and ask yourself, what do I want to do? Where am I going with my life? Then once you identify that, then backtrack and figure out what is the plan, what is the process, what are the steps I need to take to go there and to do that. But sell the house, get the money. Next step, figure out what you want to do with your life. Thanks so much for calling in, man. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. My name is Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey personality. Joining me is Chrissy Wright, #1 national best-selling author and also Ramsey personality. We're taking your phone calls here live on the air. 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. Going back to the phone lines, Chrissy, we have Jackson in New York City. Good afternoon, Jackson. How can Chrissy and I help?
Good afternoon, guys. How are you?
Doing
Good.
well.
What's up?
Hi. So I do football card selling on eBay, and I know I sound young. I'm 13.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so I'm about to acquire $5,000 due to cards that I'm currently shipping out, and I was wondering what I should do with that money. And how I should invest.
This is so fun.
Jackson.
This is so cool.
This is probably the best call all day. I like this.
Thank you.
All right, so talk to me, man. $5,000 is what you're going to get here pretty soon because you're working hard. You're making some money, so that's great. What do you see? Where do you see yourself going in the future? Do you see yourself going to college or not going to college?
My parents want me to, but I don't know. I probably will end up going, but I don't want to. I mean, I already invested in the stock market.
Okay.
And I've been thinking about going into real estate investing.
Okay.
And also investing in like companies venture capitalism.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Jackson.
Yeah,
I am loving this.
I'm loving it too. Real quick, then I'll let Chrissy come in here and give you some wisdom, man, because she's the queen of starting businesses and stuff like that. I want to advise you to listen to your parents' wisdom as far as in school. Okay. I'm not saying that you have to go to school, but what I am saying is listen to your parents' wisdom and guidance. So this $5,000 that you have, I would not invest it. What I would do is I would save it. I would put it into a savings account, keep making money, keep putting money in that account. So this way, if you and your parents, keyword there, you and your parents decide that college is the best route, you can come to the table and say, Mom, Dad, hey, I have $15,000 now that can go towards my college experience. Then let's say you decide to go to real estate school, you and your parents. Then you can spend that money to pay for real estate school and then invest the rest, So what I would say is I wouldn't worry about making more money right now. I would park this money in a savings account until you can figure out what you are going to do. You're 13 years old. I'm pretty sure you're not driving. I can put like $1 million on it right now. You're not driving yet. And so you may need to use this money to purchase a car. And so what I always recommend young people is don't think about how you can make a lot of money fast right now. No, how can you set yourself up to win and be successful in the season you're in right now? You're 13. You still have a new car coming that you're going to want to purchase here soon. You have prom coming up you're going to want to go to, and you have college. Those are the three big things that in your age bracket you have coming up. And I want you to actually take some ownership in some of that. If you purchase the first car, say, Mom, Dad, I'll put $2,500 in if you all can put $2,500 in. That would speak volumes, and you'll be driving a car that you actually helped purchase, and you'll be a baller then in the young people's words.
I love it. The one thing I would encourage you, Jackson, is there are very few people in life that know what they want to do for the rest of their life at a young age. Now, you have them. You have those people that, I remember being 6 years old and I wanted to, be an artist, and then they become an artist. That's the exception, not the rule. The vast majority of people change their mind about what they want to do about 15 times. I have. I never in a million years imagined that I would be doing what I'm doing, and I love what I'm doing so much more than even the dreams that I had when I was young. And the reason I say that, Jackson, is because you're going to figure out what you want to do with your life, with your money, with your job, with your college, with your time, with your career, by trying stuff. That's how you're going to figure it out. You're not just going to have this perfect plan. Most likely, you're going to figure it out by experimenting. And what I love about you, Jackson, is you're already doing that. You're selling football cards right now. You're making some money. You've got some options. You might try a different business when you're 15 that involves you driving. Maybe it's something else entirely, but you're going to figure out what you love and what you want to do more of by trying some stuff. And because you're trying so early and you're experimenting and you're starting to benefit the rewards of your hard work, even financially, you're going to figure that out a lot sooner. And because of that, you're going to have a lot more fun and make a lot more money. But I just want to encourage you to give yourself permission to try some stuff. And you're going to have this in your savings account, and you're going to keep trying little, side gigs or turn those into small businesses even before you get college age. And you're going to know a lot more by then. So don't feel the pressure to have it all figured out, but keep doing what you're doing. You're doing awesome.
Absolutely. Jackson, stay on the line. I'm going to have Kelly. Kelly's going to send you a copy of my Teen Entrepreneur Toolbox Kit. You're already killing it right now, but I want to help you make a lot of money during this season. And so I'm going to send you this kit on me and on Christy so you can learn how to expand your business and make, another $10,000, $15,000 this year by doing it right. So stay on the line. Kelly will get that taken care of for you. And we're going to go out to Dallas, Texas and talk to Lane. Good afternoon. How can Christy and I help?
Christy, AO, thank you so much for taking my call.
Yeah, no problem.
I want to jot down. I got some numbers here for you. My wife and I, we're both 24, been married for about 8 months here. We're working on baby step 3B. Currently have 6 months in our emergency fund, and we're able to save about $4,000 a month towards our house down payment. We currently have $85,000 in savings for our house down payment, and we're looking to buy a house in the $300,000 to $400,000 range. Here in the North Dallas area, the market is very hot, and houses that are at a appraised tax value of $300,000 are typically selling in a day to 2 days for $360,000. So my question to you two, with my wife and I already being pre-approved at a 2.375 rate on a 15-year fixed mortgage, what would be the best route for us to go over the next 3 to 6 months in purchasing our first home to not overpay simply based on the extreme demand we're seeing here in Dallas right now?
Yeah, so you already have your 20% down, because in between $300,000 and $400,000, you're looking at about $60,000 to $70,000 in a down payment. So you already have your 20%. So you two are already on a go. You all are making the right moves. The good thing here,
there's no PMI over here.
Yeah, so here there's no PMI. You said in Texas.
No, the two of us aren't.
With your savings.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was about to say, yeah. I was about to say, yeah, there's PMI everywhere, brother. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Here's how you win. You have to find a real good realtor. Okay? You need to find you a real good real estate agent who can help you make the right decisions on this journey, and who can fight for you and make sure that you do not overpay. Because you've already done the good stuff when you're in. You're debt free. You already have the 20% to put down on the home. You already know your budget in between $300,000 and $400,000. That's great. Now you take all that information, you go over to a real estate agent, and you tell them, hey, here's our budget. This is the max we can do. But if the house is only worth $300,000, we are not paying $360,000. If the house is only worth $400,000, we're not paying $410,000. Go find us a house that we like, that is in our budget, and they will do that. And you have to trust them and give them the opportunity to fight for you.
Yeah, Lane, I would say that we are actually experiencing something so similar right now in the Nashville market. It is one of the top places in the country to move from California, from all over with the pandemic and those different regulations. And it is absolutely killing our real estate market. People are overpaying crazy prices here in Nashville. Yep. And so I do agree with Anthony that a real estate agent is going to help advise you, especially because it's your first home. A couple other options I just want to throw out there, and they may advise you on this as well, depending on what the market looks like. It may be something where you wait a little bit. Yeah. You're not in a bad position. You are saving a crazy amount of money every month. You have a great down payment. Don't make a short-term, rushed, wrong decision just because you're excited to buy a house and you have the money and overpay, just like Anthony said. The other thing is, ask your agent and talk to your spouse about this. Is there something a little bit rare that you guys could live with? A different area that's not as hot? Something about this house that isn't as popular where you could be more competitive for a more accurate price that other people wouldn't be as competitive for?
But hey, at the end of the day, you are winning.
Yeah.
And we are proud of you.
Yes.
6 months in emergency account, $80,000 already saved to put down in the house. Man, come on, let's go. That's what we are here to do, to help people win like that. It's been a great hour, Christy, James, Kelly. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, this is Kelly, associate producer for The Ramsey Show. Did you know that over 16 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? And a lot of those people listen on one of our 600 plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, head to daveramsey.com/show.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. My name is Anthony O'Neill, host of the popular YouTube and podcast show, The Table with Anthony O'Neill, and co-hosting with me today is #1 national best-selling author and host of The Christy Wright Show, the one and only Christy Wright. Both of us are Ramsey personalities, and we are excited because we get to spend this hour with you, America, and we love talking about all things, especially money. But if you want to talk about relationships, if you want to talk about how to find balance, if you want to talk about your purpose, if you want to talk about God, if you want to talk about money, if you want to talk about how to start a business, give us a call. Chrissy's here. She can help out. I'm going to talk about money. She's going to talk about life and money. 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225 is the number to call in. And we would love to take your phone call. Let's go to the phone lines, Chrissy.
Let's do it.
Josh is with us in Phoenix. I love that city. Good afternoon, Josh. How can Christy and I help?
Hey, Anthony. Great to talk with you guys. So I have a peculiar situation that me and my wife are in. So we've paid off $150,000 in student loan debt in the past 5 years.
All right.
Yeah, it's great. We're definitely focused. So we have one debt left, and it's $140,000. My in-laws took out a home equity loan for this $140,000, and it was $140,000 and my wife's private student loans that they consolidated to make the payment cheaper.
Okay.
So our situation is they have said multiple times that they will forgive the loan eventually. It has not happened yet.
Who is
currently
they?
Pay a monthly payment.
Oh, okay.
My wife's parents.
Okay.
And they've said that they'll forgive it eventually. There's no specific timetable or anything. We pay the payment on the mortgage directly ourselves and pay a couple extra payments. As far as our situation, in my mind, I want to put the extra money from our snowball towards our home mortgage or a 529 plan for my son, or my wife wants to put any extra money towards that loan that her parents gave us, even though they said that they're going to forgive it eventually. So we just don't know what to do.
One thing I want to call out that you are experiencing, Josh, and this is the reason we tell family not to loan family money, is because it tilts the room. It tilts the table. It now there is an imbalance in the relationship, and because of this financial debt. And so what I don't like about this question is they have something over you. And even the fact that they're telling you they're going to forgive it bothers me, because it's this reminder that they have something over you. They're holding something over you. Even if they don't intentionally mean that maliciously, they may not at all. They may be wonderful people and they may really plan to forgive it. But the dynamics of this need to change. I'm going to let Anthony jump in here first, but I just want to call out, we need to fix this situation, whether we fix it through a conversation and a deadline, or we fix it through repayment, or some combination of both. But I don't like this in between where you guys have this held over your head. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Christy. You know, Josh, I want to have the conversation with in-laws. Hey, we need clarity, okay? Because we're trying to move forward, but we have this hanging over our head. When you say forgive it, when? Okay, when is the cutoff date? Do we need to be paying up until this? Go ahead.
Yeah. So their house is paid off right now. They live in San Diego, and the next couple of years they're going to sell it, which theoretically, when they sell it, that loan will be paid off.
I got you.
So that's the big question now.
Yeah. So you're in a tough situation because you're waiting on your parents to sell their house, which will eventually pay off the HELOC, and You're trying to figure out what to do.
But they expect you to pay between now and then, right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
We've been paying monthly, and then we do like 1 or 2 extra payments a month just to lower, just pay off the principal as much as we can.
Yeah.
I would say if they're, sorry, I keep jumping in here, AO.
Do you think?
I would say if they are expecting you to pay between now and when and if they ever forgive, then you're going to keep paying between now and then regardless.
Yes.
Here's what I would do for my own peace of mind, Josh. I would plan to pay the whole thing off as if they never sell it.
Absolutely.
I would just plan on that, expect to, and then if and when they sell it and they forgive it or they say whatever, then it's like this wonderful surprise, not something you're waiting around on, tapping your heels going, oh, how many more months do I have to pay this? You owe it.
Right.
So just expect that you have to pay it until the whole thing's paid off. And if you don't, then it's a wonderful surprise and bonus. But for your own peace of mind, I would try to pay it and expect to and knock it out as if you're going to have to pay it off.
Yeah, no, we're going to leave it right there. I really do agree with you on that part. I mean, that was a good answer. I really do.
It's just a weird dynamic because it's like maybe, but it goes back to that power control.
Yeah.
Because what if they don't? What if they change their mind? They don't want to sell. And they're like, oh, dang it. I was like planning on, no, just for your own peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
You owe this.
Yeah.
Plan to pay it.
Yeah.
If you don't have to, that's just a fun surprise.
Absolutely. I mean, you signed up for the debt. Your parents helped you out. They said, hey, you're going to pay us back. Pay us back. And then for me, I'm not even getting comfortable. I'm sitting out with my wife. I'm saying, hey, look, how do we pay this thing off in the next year and a half?
Well, because the question he asked about, should we put more toward our house? If you were to do that with that money, it's as if that debt's not there, but it is.
Yes.
It is there.
Yes.
And it's no different than any other type of debt in the fact that you owe it.
Yeah.
So you need to attack it like you would if you were in baby step 2, because you are, in a weird way, pay that off before you put extra on your house. Your house, you get to after you're debt free, and you're not debt free yet. So.
I love it. Well, you guys, here at Ramsey Solutions, we want to transform so many lives that disruption spreads like wildfire across our country. Imagine a world where it is weird to have student loan instead of everyone assuming that's the only way to get an education. Imagine a world where the majority of people pay cash for their cars. Imagine a world where credit cards are the cigarette of the financial industry. Imagine being a part of causing that level of disruption with the work you do every day. At Ramsey Solutions, that's why we have 1,000 people at our company working together to create digital products and services to help people transform their lives with the goal of disrupting the toxic money culture that exists in America today. If you want to join us on that crusade, we're currently on the hunt for many software engineers with expertise in Ruby on Rails, Java, C#, and front-end technologies. Or if you are a UX designer, SEO, and content marketing specialist, we would love to talk with you. Like seriously, ASAP. So to find out about all the available jobs by texting, make sure to text Work That Matters. Again, that is Work That Matters to 33789. Text Work That Matters, all one word, Work That Matters to 33789 to find out about all our open opportunities. And I'll slide this in there too because I got the mic. I'm also hiring for a video producer. So not only if you want to do that, but if you want to help me reach young people, yes, text the word Work That Matters to 33789 and come join an amazing team over here at Ramsey Solutions and your boy Anthony O'Neill. This is The Ramsey Show.
What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. My name is Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey personality. Joining with me is another Ramsey personality, #1 national best-selling author, Christy Wright, host of the Christy Wright Show. And together, we're taking your phone calls and answering your questions around money, around life, around relationships, around business, around ladies, personal development. I mean, we're just having a blast. And so we have about one line that just opened up. So give us a call, 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. And Christy and I would love to talk to you. We're a little bit nicer than Dave. Sometimes we can be just as mean, but we won't hang up on you. Well, I just lied. Let's go out to California and talk to Adam. Good afternoon, Adam. How can Christy and I help?
Hi, Anthony and Christy. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, no problem.
Let me give you guys a little bit of background really quick. My wife and I are debt-free. We're big Dave Ramsey advocates. We're now in the market to purchase a house.
Okay.
And it's similar to your previous caller. We have about $200,000 saved up to put a down payment on a house. We're looking around $1 million as a price point for us. But we're putting it down, offers in. Within 4 days, there's 42 offers. And the last home we put an offer in, it went over $200,000 in asking price. And so we recently just sold a house in Texas and lost $70,000. So I have a little bit of angst by buying a house in a bad time.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to get your guys' take with the interest rates. I think they just increased about 0.5% in the last month. Mm-hmm. Which is giving us a little bit more buying power.
Okay.
Should we buy now and just say this is the reality of the market? Or should we hold off if you guys know any trends around the interest rates or the markets so we can buy at the right time versus overspending and then the market flattening out because of supply increasing?
Where are you living now?
We live in Laguna Beach, Orange County.
And you own your home?
We're renting an apartment right now.
Okay.
And we cash flow about $100,000 cash that we can save a year.
So are you all in a rush to purchase today, Adam? Or do you just
We're not in a rush from a living perspective. It's just knowing that as soon as a house hits the market today, it has 20 offers within 3 days, and the interest rates keep climbing and the asking prices keep climbing because everyone from the LA area is moving to Orange County because they don't have to work in the city anymore.
Okay. Here's my suggestion. I'm not going to rush purchasing a home right now because you're saving a lot of money, and sooner or later, I think patience. Good things come to those who are patient, who wait. And I think right now what I would continue doing is keep your eye on the market. Do not go over your budget. Do not pay more for a house. If it's only worth $1 million, don't pay 1.2. Don't pay 1.1. Wait, because you're in Orange County, California. So to get a good house out there, you're going to be right up there in the $800 to about $1.2 million to get the kind of house that it sounds like you and your wife want. But I would wait, man. I mean, if it takes you another year, maybe 2 years to find the right house, that's okay.
Well, and the other thing, if you think about it from a numbers perspective, I think you said you're able to save $100,000 a year, which is incredible. So when you think about this, let's say you decide to wait until the market levels out, which it should at some point. I'm not an expert in real estate, but an agent can help you kind of know what's going on. You're not regressing in your financial goals by waiting. You're still making progress financially in your goals by saving $100,000 a year. And then you're able to buy a house at a price that's more appropriate for what it's going to be appraised at. If you try to rush and you overpay, then you are losing that money for right now. And there's absolutely no reason to. You're not in a rush. So keep saving your money, wait. And if you found something in between there that's going to go at its regular price, or it's rare, or it's different, or you get there first, or whatever, cool, you're ready to jump on it. You've got the money, but don't rush and overpay and just throw that money away.
Absolutely. I agree. Kelton is with us in Memphis, Tennessee. Good afternoon, Kelton. I love your name, by the way. How can we help?
Thank you. Hi, so I'm 19. Up until last month, I was pretty much debt-free. I had a small car loan. I was on full ride scholarship at U of M.
Okay.
And basically, I was involved in a situation and it lets me. I'm charged with 3 felonies. And now I have $8,000 worth of debt, and I have upcoming debt, and I lost my job because of this, and I'm kicked out of school. I owe my apartment a whole lot of money because that's where the situation happened at. I don't even know where to go, like how to start paying off all this debt. I mean, I have a job now. I got another job, and it's paying like $300 a week.
Okay,
but it's not even enough to make a dent.
That's $1,200 a month. Yeah,
you said what?
I said that's $1,200 a month. That's not that's money, but it's not enough money for what you need to do.
No, not at all. And I don't have much work experience. I had a job paying $19 an hour, but it was through my school basically.
Okay. Without putting too much of your personal information on live on air, are these felonies preventing you from getting a better job?
Yes, sir. Okay. They're violent felonies. They're aggravated assault.
Aggravated assault. Okay, cool. Have you gotten with an attorney to figure out what is the game plan to get these off your record in the future?
Yes, sir. I hired a really good attorney with everything that I had, and I sold my car.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so he's working with you to eventually get it off your record, right?
Yes, sir. I'm still looking at potentially some time. It's hard to say. Okay. You know, it just happened not too long ago. I have another hearing next week that's going to give me a better idea of what's going to happen.
What's going to be the future? Cool.
But each felony carries 8 to 12 years.
8 to 12 years. Ouch. Here's my thing, man. I want to thank you for calling into the show.
Yeah.
I want you to know that I don't know you, Kelton, but I'm going to be praying for you because your future could change dramatically.
Definitely.
For probably the first time that I've been on the Ramsey Show, I would say right now I'm not concerned about your debt. I'm concerned about you. I'm concerned about your mental health. I'm concerned about you as an individual. I want to encourage you, continue working, continue doing what you're doing, but right now it sounds like you need to get around other men, older men who can speak into your life, who you can just draw from, cry on, just really be honest with. And so that they can help you develop yourself into a better man. Heck, and I'm going to be real with you. I have that. I am developing myself into a better man. And so I don't want you to feel like you're alone out here. But right now, I'm not too concerned, Kelton, with your debt. I'm concerned with you.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing I would say that may give you some source of comfort or control, Kelton, and this is super tactical, but it's just an option for you. First of all, I cannot recommend enough you getting around, whether it's getting plugged into a church or a community of men that can come around you through this season of life. You need people to lean on. But one of the things I heard in your question was a lot of overwhelm. There's this money and then my apartment and then these fees. It just it feels overwhelming, and it is. Yeah. But one of the things you can do to reduce overwhelm, as tactical as it is just list out what those are. Not just like, well, there's money here and I'm not sure. And what it's like, okay, I owe my apartment $10,000. I owe court fees of this amount of money. You're not sure when you're going to tackle it. That's okay. But I think sometimes when you see something, when you get it out of your head and onto paper and you can see it, you're like, okay, I can tackle this. I don't know how and when and what timeline, but when I can see it, I can do it. And that will just give you some source of control over your situation. It's not this unknown that's haunting you. You can see it, set it aside, get the community around you, and then you can work on a plan to tackle it.
Yeah. Kelton, stay on the line. I'm going to have Kelly get your contact information. I'm going to have my producer reach out to you. I want to speak into your life. I want to talk to you. I'm going to bring you onto my show and just spend 30 minutes with you, man, and just walk through your stuff and speak into your life, brother, because I think we all need brothers to do that. So stay on the line. Kelly will get your information. My people reach out to you. This is The Ramsey Show. Thanks for listening, you guys. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. Christy Wright and myself, Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personalities, taking your phone calls. We have this segment and one more segment left. We have about one phone line open, so give us a call, 888-825-5225. We would love to talk to you over these next two segments. And Joe's with us in Missouri. Good afternoon. How can we help?
Yeah, how are you doing?
Doing good, man.
What's going on?
So I had a question. Me and my fiance got laid off in Colorado. And I'd moved out to Colorado because my ex-wife had moved out there with my kids to help raise them, but then she moved away again.
Okay.
So we got a really good job offer in southeast Missouri, where I'm from. My family all lives down here, so we moved down here. And my mom's like, well, you should just move out on the farm. So they've got 18 acres close by that has water and electric. It used to have a house, but it's dilapidated now, and it's really, really dangerous to be around. So it's kind of a big liability for my mom. So we got to talking about it. I'm like, yeah, we could probably build a house out there in the next couple of years. But then they backtracked and they won't put it in our name. They want to put it in a trust in me and my brother and sister's name. And I don't think that's a very wise idea from my standpoint. So then she gave the idea of splitting it up in 3 6-acre sections, but it goes up a holler, and 2 of the sections would literally be a hill you can't climb up. So then you're splitting property into 3 different areas to pay taxes on as well. And then I'd have a section down the middle, you know, where I could actually live. And I offered to buy it out from her for $54,000. It only appraised for $34,000, but I really want to live there. And she declined that because she said that wouldn't be fair to my brother and sister. So I'm looking for some advice.
Joe, it sounds like to me, and correct me if I'm wrong here, it sounds like to me, I hear it in your voice, this is a bad plan. And you know this is a bad plan. Like, I hear it in the question that this is already decided in your mind and it's a bad plan. And you're right, because what's interesting is anytime I'm hosting this show and we get a call about should I do this in relation to my parents' land, my parents' house, my parents' whatever, the question we always ask is, would you do this if it wasn't your parents? Would you want to build a house in a dilapidated house on this property, overpay by $24,000? All these scenarios that you're telling me, would you want to do that if it wasn't your parents? No, you wouldn't want to do that. So we're not going to.
So my next question is, then they want to put it in a trust. Is that going to put liability on me if somebody gets hurt out there? Because they want me to clean the whole thing up. My brother and sister are not interested. Nobody's been out there really in 10 years. And they just go out there and throw out a couch here and there, so it's trashed on top of the house being dilapidated. And there's neighbor kids on 4-wheelers riding through there all the time, and somebody's going to get hurt. And if I'm on a trust with it, I'm either going to have to clean it up or take that liability. And I don't think that's wise either.
No,
and I don't even understand why they're putting it in a trust with such a small piece of property either. Sorry.
Right. No, you're right. Here, I'll tell you straight up, Joe, I don't know the details from the legal implications of a trust, but I would imagine that responsibility, this is my hunch here, the responsibility cannot be put on you without your consent. You cannot be responsible for property, liability, all these things without your consent, even if it's your parents. So there would have to be some consent on your part. You need to probably talk with an attorney, and you definitely need to talk to your mom. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is not my responsibility. I feel like that you need to have more of a voice in this discussion and really have discernment for what is right for you and your family apart from your parents. What is right for you? Where do you want to live? Where do you want to build? What kind of house? That type of thing. And enter into the discussion with that in mind, not making all these compromises and going along with bad plans just because mom came up with it and it benefits her and it sucks for you. I don't like this. I don't like any of these plans for you.
I don't like neither. Go ahead.
What I think would benefit her the most, she's in debt up to her eyeballs. She had 4 mortgages at one time. They actually took one out on that piece of property to buy the current house they're in while they had 2 mortgages on another piece of property they weren't living in that they were upside down on, so they couldn't sell it. So she's 60 years old. My dad's 70. Back in 2008, my dad convinced her to cash out her 401k, so she's sitting on nothing with all this debt. And that's partly why I offered more for the house to help her in the long run. But I think she should just pay me to clean it up and sell it and pay off her house to try to get to, to a better position.
Well, here's the thing, man. You called in and asked us for advice for you, not for your mom.
Right.
And I agree with Christy. This is not a good deal. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. If your mom puts it into a trust, okay, you are not held liable for any of the issues that come up right now. Okay, once you are awarded what's inside the trust, then you will be. But as of right now, you will not be held liable for that. Okay, I would just going out there, man, and just move on with your life. Say, Mom, thank you. Mom, I love you. I tried to work with you in this area, but I see right now you're just not ready to do it, and that's fine. You know, your mom doesn't have to do what she doesn't want to do. She's a grown person.
So should I back out? Would it be wise for me to not even be involved in the trust, because it'll be every weekend for 9 months for me to get this cleaned up out there?
Yes.
And I don't want the liability.
I would not take any liability right now.
The other thing I would say, Joe, is, and I know it's your mom, and I'm talking about your mama here on the air, but like she doesn't have a great track record financially with financial decisions. So we're going to look at that track record. You love your mom. You're never going to not love your mom, and you're never going to not be your son. But when we look at the financial track record, it's not good decisions. So we're not going to enter into more financial agreements with mom because of the track record and because it's a bad plan. But just like Anthony said, she can do what she wants to do. I want to remind you, you can too. Yeah. You get to decide when and how and where and if at all you participate in anything with this land. You do not have to do anything. You are not obligated to do anything. You get to make a decision as a grown man what is right for you, and you do not have to do anything. So just remember that in all the discussions.
So good. Good. Amanda is with us in Baton Rouge. Good afternoon, Amanda. How can Christy and I help?
Hello.
Hey.
Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, no
sure.
problem.
What's going on?
Well, I'm in a conundrum right now. I mean, it's not anything major, but I'm currently out of debt.
Okay.
The only debt I have is my mortgage. So I'm very happy about that. I have no credit card, just pay off my car note.
Yes.
Saving money. I have money in my savings.
How much?
But a little over $12,000.
Okay.
And I'll try to build it up more. But the problem I'm having, I guess, is with the coronavirus and stuff that's going on in the economy. And, you know, you get worried about your career and stuff like that. I'm getting kind of burned out with my career.
Okay.
I've been doing the same career for 25 years, and I'm always interested in science. So I was thinking about changing my career, and I contacted someone. It's an associate's degree, and I would be making about the same amount of pay. But the problem is I just found out the tuition cost is $37,000 for just under 2 years. And I really don't want to take a student loan out because I'm doing fine right now, and I want to save more money and contribute even more in my Roth because I'm 47 right now, and I'm trying to max out my contributions and everything. So I'm just wondering how should I go about this? I don't want to have a loan for this school, or should I just keep doing what I'm doing and just save as much as I can?
So what's real quickly before we go to break, what's your dream career field? If you could do anything right now, what would that be?
I would say, definitely something in science. What I was looking to was, working, the degree I'm looking at is working in the operating room.
Okay.
Or even forensics or something like that, science-based, because that's what I'm strong in.
Okay, I got you. One of our good friends, Ken Coleman, says you really need to identify what you want to do. So right now, we really can't give you the advice that you really need because you don't really know exactly what you want to do. So here's the best piece of advice I can give you today is tomorrow afternoon, I think right around 11 o'clock Central Time, I want you to get on YouTube and I want you to call into the Ken Coleman Show. And I want you to ask this exact same question to Ken Coleman, who is our career expert. He is America's #1 career expert, and he can walk you through this process. So no to student loans, but I think we need to figure out what's your sweet spot. What are you passionate about? Once we can identify that, which Ken will help you do that, then we can figure out what's the best path to do that. So call in tomorrow to the Ken Coleman Show. Go to kencolemanshow.com or go to YouTube, and he will help you out. I promise. This is The Ramsey Show. Today's scripture and quote comes from Isaiah chapter 43, verses 18 through 19. And it says, "Remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." Winston Churchill once said, "We shape our dwellings, and afterwards our dwellings shape us." I love Winston Churchill.
He's got so many great quotes.
I just love him. I love him. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show, you guys. My name is Anthony O'Neill. Joining me here in the studio is Christy Wright, Ramsey Personalities, host of the Christy Wright Show and host of The Table with Anthony O'Neill. It's been an amazing hour rocking out with you all. We have about maybe 6 more minutes, so we can maybe squeeze in one more phone call. 888-825-5225. Give us a call. But right now, Alyssa is in Denver, Colorado. Good afternoon, Alyssa. How can Christy and I help?
Hello. Hi, Christy. So I am currently an outside sales professional for a signs and graphics franchise, and I have the opportunity to purchase the franchise that I started my career at. And it's very early. The conversations with the corporate office are just now getting started. But I am in baby step 2. It's always been a dream of mine to own my own franchise, but I'm 33. I expected I'd be closer to 50, but the opportunity is here. I imagine it'll be about somewhere between $400,000 and $600,000 to buy the franchise.
Do they have a franchise model, or are they starting it with you?
No. This is a very existing franchise.
I'm curious. You said you've always wanted to own your own franchise. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, I've always wanted to own this franchise. Well, by always, I mean, I've been in the career for 7 years, but I really fell in love with it. I am passionate about what it is that I do from an outside sales professional perspective. I would like to think that I would be a good business owner because I do care so much about the purpose. Mm-hmm. But I am a little nervous about being a business owner, right? I mean, there's definitely some things that I would need to work on personally. I'm a little tough, and I don't want to scare anybody, but scare any of my potential employees. But I really love the organization and the business, and I know everything about it apart from the business side of it, of taxes and the important stuff. But the opportunity is here, and I know that I've been working my way towards owning this franchise, a franchise within the organization. But now the one in my hometown is available for sale, and now it's kind of fallen into my lap. I don't want to make a bad choice.
Yeah.
Of being too emotional about this specific location in my hometown.
Yeah. So here's what's interesting. The reason that people typically want to get a franchise is because they want to run their own business, and they feel like a franchise is a business in a box. And so there's something appealing about the fact that they are going to give you all the details, the logos, the formula for it, and you don't have to think about that for yourself. The downside to this, though, is it's a very expensive way to start a business and run a business, own a business, when you could start something literally on the side yourself tomorrow with zero startup. Now, you're a little bit different than the average person I talk to that's interested in franchise because you love this particular business. What I'm curious is, how long would it take you to make back that money over and above what you're making now working for them? And when you run those numbers, I think you'll be shocked at how long it will take you to make that back, because that is a very expensive cost of a franchise. And we're never going to recommend you take out debt, which means you'd have to cash flow it. And right. So I'm not trying to be discouraging. I'm just trying to be discouraging. I'm not trying to discourage you, Alyssa, in business, because you know I'm so pro business. But here's what I want to encourage in you. How can you pursue some aspect of what you want to do, whether that's move up in the organization you're in a more leadership role without the cost of this $500,000 startup, or is there some other aspect of running a business that you would want to do on your own separate from this business that has the same type of impact or the same type of services, product, whatever? I just want you to explore it. I think that you're onto something here, that you see something in yourself you want to pursue, and I think that is good. I just want you to explore other ways to pursue it outside of paying $500,000, which I'm guessing you don't have.
Yes, that's correct. I do not have it.
So just when you say it fell in your lap, lots of bad ideas can fall in your lap. Lots of bad opportunities can fall in your lap. But we think, oh, because it fell in my lap, it must mean it's right for me. Listen, debt is not right for you. Making a bad decision is never right for you. Bad opportunities are not right for you. But the good news is you love what you do. You work for a good company. That's not going to change tomorrow if you don't decide to franchise this. You can still keep doing what you do, loving it, making good money, maybe even coming up with an advancement path with your leader, some type of management. Maybe there's some advancement there, and or exploring other business opportunities that you start on the side. And by the way, you own all of it. You have full creative rights to make it whatever you want it to be, because the other aspect of a franchise that most people don't consider is you're still working for someone. You quote unquote own it. But if you start a Subway franchise, you're not coming up with a different Subway logo. You're doing it the way that Subway runs. It's going to be laid out how they lay out. It's the upside of a business in a box, but the downside of business in a box. And so I just want you to explore all your options. I think it's awesome that you happen to love this company. I don't want you to pay $500,000 to do what you're already doing, because it's going to take you a long time to make that back, and that's just not a good plan. But I do want to encourage you to explore other ways to lean into that thing that makes you light up right now in a different way that doesn't cost $500,000. Stay online. I'll have Kelly send you my book, Business Boutique, and that will help you not only explore what those opportunities are, but even test them out. Experiment a little bit. Maybe you start something on the side. Maybe you get to lean into those gifts and you learn more about yourself in the process through reading that. So stay on the line. Kelly can get that for you.
Love it. Jen is with us in Billings. Good afternoon, Jen. How can Christy and I help?
Hi, Anthony. Hi, Christy. Okay, I'm 45, almost 46. My husband's 42.
Okay.
We have approximately $1,800 left in consumer debt.
Okay.
But here comes a but. I have over $100,000 in student loan debt, and my husband has about $40,000 in student loan debt. I'm thinking, I don't know if this is the right way, is once we pay off the last of our consumer debt, is to kind of put baby step 2 on hold, build up our 3 to 6 month emergency fund, and then aggressively attack our student loan debt.
What's your household income?
Between the two of us, about $70,000 a year.
Oh my goodness. What did y'all get your degree in?
Okay, $111,000 is for me, and it's a master's in human services administration. I was 25, 26, and a single mom when I went to college.
Okay. What about
so I pretty much put it, I was living off of student loan debt as a single mom.
Okay. All right, cool. And what about your husband?
His is in network technician. He does stuff with computers.
Okay, cool. So real quickly, because we're about to end the show here, no, your philosophy is off, Jen. I'm sorry. I want you, and a lot of people say this, consumer debt. Consumer debt is including your student loans. Okay. Anything outside of your consumer debt would be a mortgage. And so you got to work the baby steps, Jen. I mean, I'm just going to be honest.
I wasn't sure. I wanted to make sure on that one.
And I understand. I mean, you all make decent income. The average household income in America is running between $58,000 and $68,000, depending on what side of America you're on. So you guys are actually a little bit above that, but you are sitting with over $100,000 in student loans. And I know that looks like a mountain, but Chrissy teaches something real good about just really taking it one step at a time, one bite at a time, and just aggressively going after it. I would definitely sit down, get the budget, and honestly, you two need to come up with a bigger source of income.
You got to get your income up.
Yeah, got to get it up. Get some side jobs. And I get it. You guys are in your 40s, but that's still young. But right now, you need to get your shovel bigger.
Yeah, to make more progress. Otherwise, it's going to feel like that mountain. You're not making any progress.
Yeah.
Get your income up. Start a side business, side hustles, extra jobs, and you'll start to see more progress. That'll motivate you to stick with it. You got this. You can do it.
I'm so sorry that you're going through that, man. Well, Chrissy, it's been fun.
Hi. Great job today.
This has been real fun. I want to thank our producer, James Childs and Kelly Daniel. In America, do not forget that the caliber of all of our futures will be determined by the decisions we make today. In America, y'all made one of the best ones today by listening to Christy and I right here on The Ramsey Show.
Did you know you can listen to The Ramsey Show on your smart speaker? Just tell Alexa, Google Assistant, or Siri to play The Ramsey Show podcast. Check out all Ramsey Network shows on your smart speaker today.